It's time for the next community art showcase. Last month, I gave you the prompt of video game. Whether that be art of something from a video game, art made in a video game, or art that looks like it could be from a video game. And yet again, you guys delivered. But of course, before we can get into your submissions for this community art showcase, I must give you the prompt for the next one. And so, should you wish to take part in the next community art showcase, your prompt is robots. You got until the end of June the 30th to get it done and send it to me, either through the Discord or on Bluesky or Tumblr. Alright, back to the main avatar. Was that just an excuse to use the robot form? Oh wait, auto-tune's still on, hang on. I said off. Whoops. Was that just an excuse to use the robot form? Yes. Yes, it was. But also, that is the prompt. Whether it be retro future, some Fallout style, more realistic, make a robot. That is the prompt for the next art showcase. Now then, let's get into it. Now, I was going to start with one of the ones behind me. However, I am a merciful overlord. And my cousin got his submission sent to me just now as I started to work on this video. So, we're going to check out his first. And we have the simple, gentle sailor himself, Xenojiva. A more realistic-ified version of his icon. Or maybe not. I don't remember, actually. It's been a long time since I've played World. Especially base. I haven't hunted a Xenojiva in a very long time, actually. Might do that later. Anyways, yes, indeed, it is Xenojiva's icon. Now, first, well, obviously I like it because Monster Hunter, and I have made no hiding of the fact that Monster Hunter is etched into my soul. The one major thing I can offer in terms of critiquification on this is your saturation. Both in your, the blue of your wings, you can see a lot of the white of the paper peeking through still, and even more pressingly in your eyes. You got them pretty dark. I think your pencil bled into the orange, the pencil of your outlines bled into the orange of your eyes. Maybe you tried to erase your outlines and it kind of smudged. Maybe not. But your eyes are pretty dull. Unfortunately, I don't have a pencil near me to help demonstrate this better, but when you're going like this, you're just going one way. When you're shading your colors in, if you then come in and go the opposite way from your first lines and then repeat that a time or two, maybe even go a third direction. Like so, it'll help you get your colors a bit more saturated. For the eyes, though, it just looks like your pencils bled into it, and that's just kind of something you got to practice working around. Still, again, I do quite like it because Monster Hunter. A sentiment I know you share. Up next, from your local noob, also known as Limb, we have this character. Now, I don't know if this character is actually from something or it's a original character, but to me, it very much looks like a splash wallpaper sketch of a character from an Overwatch type game. Or there's Overwatch, and then there's a couple more like I don't play any of those, so I don't know which ones are to which. But that's the kind of game that it looks like it comes from. Something like that, or maybe Marvel Rivals. But I do quite like it. You said you were trying out a new shading style in this one, and I think it works really well. Aside from reminding me of, like I said, an Overwatch type game, it also makes me think of the eye catch panels from Gurren Lagann, which I really like. But the only two things I could maybe suggest are up here on the upper edge of your hood, where your bit of your character's hair sticks out. You could maybe make the line right here, following the line right up here, a little thicker to help differentiate where the hood is versus where your hair tuft is. And then down here on your shading lines, right about there, you could maybe make those a little thinner, maybe more around the thickness of either your text or your exclamation markers over here. But still, very nice. Like I said, I like this one a lot. And also, because I think I just realized just now I haven't ever mentioned this on one of these before, which I apologize for. Local Noob actually has their own YouTube channel. So if you like their art on this and want to check them out, you can look for them on their own channel. It's, I believe, the same as their Discord handle here, but hang on. Actually, let me find it. Yeah, here you go. This is their channel if you wanted to go say hi to them over there. I think they also have a Discord. Figured I should be nice and point that out. It just occurred to me that I probably should have done that the previous times you've been on here. Yeah, well. Up next, from my sister, we have two different entries. First off, we have this collection of characters from various platformers in pixel art. Yes. All of them are quite nicely done, though I will say you did cut off a little bit of Bugsy in your final version of the picture. Is it Bugsy or Bubsy? I'm not the one that plays that one. You know what? Matriarchal progenitor or sister, correct me when you watch this. Is it Bugsy or Bubsy? Regardless, nicely done. The only one I really have anything to point out on is Sonic, because his limbs are a little extra wibbly noodly than normal. But yeah, really well done. The only thing I can knock you for, though, because there is one thing, it's this. Because I know which version of Spyro this is, and it's not the one I like. This is classic Spyro. I know this because you've only played classic Spyro. Because they have yet to remaster the cooler Spyro, the one that is quite literally legend. And that is something that still irks me. Because Legend Spyro is better. I will fight you on this. If you or someone else has an opinion on this, I will debate you. Legend Spyro is significantly cooler than Classic Spyro. Opinions on platformers and reboots aside, nicely done. But if you really wanted to do a collection of platformers, you could have tossed in a couple more. Like, say, Jak and Daxter, or maybe Cat. I think Gravity Rush technically kind of counts as a platformer. You could even throw in the Plumber if you really wanted to, though that does run the risk of the Nintendo copyright ninjas coming after me for that. So don't know if I'd actually want you to do that now that I'm thinking about it. Regardless, nicely done. On to the next. For my sister's second entry, we have Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl, which I suppose counts as video game because apparently they're now in Marvel Rivals, which is a game I also haven't played and don't really have too much of an interest in playing, if I'm being honest. That said, I know you didn't make them based off of the game, but instead off the comics, which you apparently read. So, I guess half credit for following the prompts there. Still, not bad. There's a few things you could work on, of course. For one thing, your Devil Dinosaur is pretty much a solid block of red. You could do with both a little bit of variation in the reds used and some more shading, especially around the abdomen and where Moon Girl's resting. You could have a kind of swoop of a darker red along like there. and maybe along the upper side too, underside of the jaw. Maybe move the arms back and up a little bit, out to where my pupil is now, instead of where they are. But I do like it. You got some nice whiteness highlighting on the tongue and eye of the devil dinosaur. Don't know accuracy to the characters too much because I don't read the comics and I've never played Marvel Rivals, like I think I said. But still, not bad. Not as much to cover as your first entry because I can't snark about my preferred platformers versions. But yeah, nice. Now then, up next from my brother, we have this, which is actually taken from a moment in a pseudo one-shot D&D campaign we did. I guess not technically one-shot because we kind of stopped in the middle of a battle, but yeah. It's actually the campaign I did that little character monologue thing for over on Moog Extra. You very much video gamified that moment. Pretty cool. Though, you could have had more of the burning logs that were supposed to be surrounding the Demon King. Could have made the water a bit more turbulent. But overall, not bad and pretty accurate to the moment. You got my whatever vampire blood mark tattoo things going up down onto my sword. You got my cousin's character Wizards doing his thing. You don't actually have the sphere of annihilation that blasted the hole in the Demon King's head behind him, but I think he repositioned at one point, so whatever. Still, fun callback to the campaign. I guess if you could call it a campaign. Still, you could do a bit more shading, especially on this wing. It's really flat at the moment. You got a bit more over here with the light from the fire whip. Could do some darker shading on the undersides of the arms and the legs. But overall, not bad. Like I said, it does feel like it is missing the other burning logs and the smoke and steam that should have been here. You could have even put the Stadium of the Divines behind it instead of just Bluesky. But ultimately, I like it. And it is bringing up the artificial emotions of that campaign. I wish to rage against the gods once more. So maybe we can continue it at some point. It was fun being all dramatically edgy. Oh, I just realized this now, but I think I should have been taller. I think you've got my guy shorter than our cousins. I'm pretty sure I was taller than his Aarakocra. So there's that too. But next up from Obese Rat 44, we have this Enderman breaking free of an Ender portal. End portal, not Ender portal. Though it does look more like a Nether portal, if I'm being honest. Still, not bad at all. You got some nice edge highlighting going on here and there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Normally, I would say something about your arms being super blocky, but it's Minecraft, so not really applicable there. Honestly, it's just really good. You could do a bit more edge highlighting, like maybe on the tops of the eyelids, bottom of the eyelid, to give a bit more delineation of where those are if you wanted. A little bit of maybe a little purple line where the mouth is, real skinny one. But ultimately, very nice. The pink eye instead of the light purple may have just been a limitation of what markers you had, but does kind of make him look like he's on something, if I'm being honest. But again, well done. I do really like it. Doesn't leave me too much to say because not really much critique I can give on this one because it is just very well done. I mean, maybe you could do some more edge highlighting all the way around with the brighter purple for a glow from the end portal. Not end portal. I keep saying end portal. It's another portal, clearly from the purple swirlies. But you could give him an edge highlight from the light of the end portal. But yeah, you did a real good job on this one. Doesn't leave me too much to say, but it's good. I like it. I can hear the portal sound effects. Yeah. I really wish I had something more intelligent to say here, but it's just good. You did well. Doesn't leave me too much to say, though, which makes this very awkward. But nicely done. Now, lastly, we have something we haven't had on one of these showcases for a little while. From Leapic28, we have a full-on animation. That was dark. Which seemingly fits the source material from what I've seen. This is apparently based on a Steam game called Casualties Unknown, which, as it self-describes, is a unforgiving cave exploration survival simulator, which, from what little of the lore the Steam page has said, is really dark seeming, but at the same time, it actually does seem like a pretty fun game. And so I'm actually currently debating whether or not I should play it on Moog Extra on the side channel. But I don't quite fully know what its age rating or, content warnings are, aside from death, depressing, and maybe self-ending. I don't know. I don't know how in-depth it goes into that at all. Also hate that I have to use New Talk doublespeak shenanigans on YouTube, but it is what it is. If I do, it'll probably be as a video, not a stream, at least first. So I can, like, if it is bad, I can just not upload it. We'll see. But game it comes from aside, huge props for going out of your way to do a full-on animation with that, especially a 2D one. I find those myself to be significantly harder than 3D animation. I will say, and I know I'm not the best at this myself, but your walk and run cycle is a little slow and a little stiff. You could speed that up a touch, especially since you seem to be using a, set of looping animation. If you were to increase the speed of that part a little bit and the collapse here, if you sped that up a touch, I think it would read a bit better. But also, did you rotoscope this or did you do it fully by hand? There's a few parts of it that make me almost wonder if you were rotoscoping off of like footage from the game, a cutscene or something, or if you were doing this by hand. Please let me know in the comments, because I'm honestly curious. Either way, again, huge props for doing an animation, and overall, well done with doing it. Like I said, you could definitely speed up the walking and run cycle. And part of what makes me think it's a rotoscope right here, if you look at the closer leg, it kind of almost seems like it flips around a little bit with your line work. And then finally, right here, I feel like your tail shouldn't stay stuck straight up, it should flop down. But that might be you being true to the game, I don't know. But those are the only real 3 things I would say you need to work on with this if you were to redo it, which, not saying you need to at all. So, very nice. I don't know if nice is necessarily the correct term, given, but well executed, maybe. That might not be the best phrasing either, actually. Trying to think of better wording here, and it's not working because everything sounds like a double entendre, and not in a good way. So yeah, I guess well done. And yet again, props for doing it as an animation, but yeesh. Though, like I did say, and it did get me interested in the game itself, and I am definitely going to give it a look at some point, so. And remember, your prompt for next time is robot. Make art with the prompt of robot by the end of June 30th. Get it to me either through the channel Discord, Bluesky, or Tumblr. If you'd rather use those, can't do Discord, but you still want to do it, whatever. Those are the 3 ways you can get it to me. So if you want to take part, do it. This is fun. Most of the time. Last one was really dark. Whatever. What are you still doing here? The video's over. There might be some for you up there, or some for you over there, but there's nothing left here, so hit the YouTube buttons and move on.